guys, welcome. So this is our second video of books that I'm planning on sharing with you this month. Our first video you'll find in the previous post. In that one I had 7 books on yoga. So if you're interested in going back and checking that one out, it should be available for you. Today I am sharing books. 2 of them will be on breath awareness and breath work, and the rest are just some really beautiful books. They're very aesthetically pleasing, and they're focused around women's health as well. So a topic that I am very passionate about, and so I hope that you will find some inspiration in some of these books that I'll be sharing with you today. So the first one here is called The Art of Breathing by Dr. Danny Penman. And I love this personal story that he includes at the very beginning of the book. It was very powerful, and also reminds me of a personal experience that I had in my life as well. I am going to do a Facebook Live to talk about that experience. So check the comments below. I'll let you know when I'm going to do that Facebook Live, and I'll also add a breathwork meditation on that live feed when it goes up. So anyways, this is a great book. It's also very slim, an introductory to those who are new to meditation, new to thinking about breath work. He's also a doctor, so I love how he talks about the science behind it and how it affects the body physiologically. It's a beautiful book. It's actually has some amazing, I don't know if you can see, just some really beautiful illustrations. So not only is it packed with information, but also just very pleasing to read. Okay, I'm gonna wait. There's another helicopter flying over. Quite a few today. So my husband actually just started reading this book, and he is enjoying it. He's not a daily yoga practitioner, but I think it has resonated with him, and it also is just a nice way to get introduced to meditation without being too heady, without being too esoteric, without being too advanced, I feel. So I love the insight meditation and also there's another one here, scavenger meditation, that I thought was really fun. So anyways, wonderful book. This one was introduced to me by my friend Nadja. She's also a teacher here based in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's called How to Breathe by Ashley Neese. And again, another beautiful book. It's not very big, but it's packed with tons of different practices, breathwork practices that you can do on your own. She is a breathwork practitioner, and it's just 25 simple practices, and you can pick one that's resonating with you. I would encourage that when you do any sort of practice, whether it's breathwork or meditation, to pick one and stick with it for a while, right? Try not to jump around too much. It's the same with yoga. If you can, whether you're working with a particular teacher or a particular tradition, really give yourself some time to be and steep yourself in that tradition for a while before kind of jumping around and experimenting, right? So my personal background is when I started practicing yoga, I actually started with Bikram. It was like 1 year of Bikram, and then I found a Iyengar teacher, and for the first 5 years I practiced yoga, I would practice with the same Iyengar teacher until she closed her shala in Palo Alto. And so the one thing about this is, so if you're picking a meditation or a breathwork practice, see if you can do it for a while, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, and see how it feels, because it's not going to be the same every time you experience it, right? So this is how we can really feel the power of practice, is when we have consistency. Okay, so how to breathe. Love this one. Okay, so I'm going to move on to other practices. I also love crystals. I love working with crystals, and I have a few crystal reference books, but this one is called Crystal RX. And I love this book because Colleen McCann was a stylist, and so she was in the fashion world for a while. Same with me. In my past life, I was a fashion designer for 10 years, and I had my own women's label and a boutique in Palo Alto. So that was like a whole nother lifetime ago, before I started teaching yoga. And so she, what I love about this book is that she kind of brings in a little bit of that fashion background, which I appreciate. And as an artist, I also appreciate it. So if you're new to working with crystals, or you want to learn more about crystals and their physical and metaphysical properties, this is a great book, introductory book to crystals. Also, just again, like very beautiful, just I love beautiful things. So this is again, just a beautiful, aesthetically pleasing book. Okay, another one is called Sound Bath. Another form of crystal healing is to work with crystal quartz bowls, a practice that I have started to learn a little bit more about this past year. And this book was written by Sarah Oster. She is a sound bath specialist based in New York. You can actually check out her work on Spotify as well as on Audible. She has a sound bath meditation on Audible that's available for free right now. I love this book because it has also each chapter practices on refining your connection to sound. So at the end of each chapter, there's some journaling. You can utilize that for your own practice, and you can also let it be an inspiration to maybe do something of your own that maybe comes up for you. Again, just a wonderful book, beautiful ways of learning how to connect to sound, meditation, toning, connecting with your voice, thinking about sound and memory, and releasing any energies in your body that may be stuck through the power and healing of sound. There are other books on sound that I'd love to share with you, but this one is just a nice kind of fun introductory one. So again, Sound Bath, Sarah Oster. Okay, so 3 more books. One is called The Awakened Woman by Dr. Tara Ray Trent. And I love Dr. Tara Ray Trent. I got this book because I heard her story on a podcast, and it was just so amazing to hear how she overcame adversity in her life from a very young age. It really placed a different perspective on how I view things now when I face adversity in my own life. And so I really appreciate her practices, her stories of her ancestors and where she comes from. And there is a practice in this book that I incorporated and integrated on working with the earth, working with nature, and manifesting our dreams. So this one, really inspiring. If you're part of a women's group or women's circle, I would highly recommend reading this book together and sharing. It might inspire and spark some new things for you guys, so you girls. So yeah, check it out, Awakened Woman. And I'll also post as well the link to the original interview, so you can check it out and learn a little bit more about her and hear her story yourself. Okay, so this one is called In the Flow by Alyssa Vitti. Now, she is a hormone specialist, and I love her story as well here about how she read about the women's cycle when she was in high school, and how that kind of sparked her lifelong career and research into working with, or what she calls biohacking, for women, and working with your infradian rhythm. The infradian rhythm is your 28-day cycle. There's 4 phases of it: follicular, ovulatory, luteal, and menstrual. And I really appreciate this book because it solidified some other practices that I had already started to think about from an Ayurvedic perspective, in terms of how the doshas affect your body as you're moving through also these 4 cycles. But Alyssa Vitti, she approaches it from the science side. So there's a lot of science in this book, a lot of research and data that you can find to support some of the suggestions that she has on how to work more in rhythm with your feminine nature. Meaning, if I were to talk about it just in terms of my yoga practice, most people who practice Ashtanga, most women would take the 3 days off for moon days, but I find that I'm actually a little bit more low energy right before those times, and so I really adjust kind of how I approach practice energetically from this cycle, from the infradian rhythm. And I know when I feel stronger, when I'm in a pitta phase, or when I'm in a kapha phase, building phase, and when I can kind of exert a little more energy. So, great book for women to check out. And now there's another interview with her as well, which is why I got this book. And I will post that as well. I've written a blog about it, and she also has some TED Talks as well, so you can check her out. Okay, last one. This one is called Ritual Baths by Deborah Hanekamp. Her story is incredible of how she connected to ritual and to really this idea of limpia, of cleansing the body through water from a very young age. So Deborah is an energy practitioner based in New York as well. His book again is just really so pretty, with so many beautiful colors, and you can work with nature and elements and crystals, earth elements, right? And there are some rituals here. I've tried a few, and the one thing I love, again, I may have mentioned this already, is that these books are inspiring. It gives you kind of a framework, groundwork for practice, and you take what works with you, you take what resonates, and you start to create your own personal practice, one that really works for you, with your own set of ingredients and your own energy. And that is so empowering when you can start to really create your own healing path. And that's my biggest takeaway from this book, and also from Deborah's work. And I'll post a little bit more about her, so you can check out her Instagram page and her website and see a little bit more about her as well. So, yeah, that's it. Those are the 7 for today. Thank you so much for watching this. I know it's a little longer video. I am going to be back teaching this week. I am managing my teaching. I'm working on a new project, actually, and I'll mention it in the 3rd installment. And maybe I'll have some examples to share with you. Other than that, I also have a tutorial available this month on how to access lotus, or postures that will help you open up your hips, so that you can create some freedom in your hips and start to learn how to maneuver into lotus pose, Padmasana, being really mindful of the knees and moving into it from a place of steadiness and ease. So that's available to you. If you want to check out my weekly schedule, you can check it out on yogalife.com. And other than that, you message me, email me, and let me know what's going on. If you have any books on women's wellness that you're reading that are really, really inspiring to you, please share that in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much, guys. See you soon. Bye. Mwah.